Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more chess. We're about to jump into a game here. I just wanted to note I was looking at the list of who's streaming right now. First of all, Chess Network, already mentioned. I like watching him. But I had a laugh here at I am Joel Banawa. I actually can't tell if this person is an IM with IM in their name, or if they're a non IM who put IM at the front of their name twice. It's a mystery. So there you go. Just a funny, I don't know. You would expect it to be in a different font or something. I think it is during a game, but not here. I don't know. Got Booziahoo. And I looked at what the analysis of one of my previous games. This is not actually good. I've been thinking it was good, but it's not. You should do probably, I don't know. I've already lost track. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I think this is fine. I know this is also popular. Let's just go with that. Actually, I don't know. I think I might be confusing it with like d4, f4? d4, bishop f4, rather. Okay, so they're defending the pawn, makes attacking it a little bit less attractive. Therefore, we should maybe focus on defending our own pawn. So. This is defended. I don't have to do anything about it. But I'm perfectly happy to get a pawn here anyway. I'm not fighting as much for the center as I would like to be. But that's because what I've liked recently is just to shove two pawns into the center and hope for the best, even though it's apparently not good. We could put this bishop here. It doesn't really inconvenience the knight. They just kick me away, so I don't think that is very productive. Develop the knight to where? Here, he doesn't have anything immediately great to do. Here, you could maybe do this, but that still doesn't get you anywhere. I don't know. I think this is just like a natural square for a knight, and maybe something good will happen eventually. Another thing to consider is knight here is well supported at the moment. It's a good square. Black might do something like I want that pawn to stand still. I would be like this. Yeah, I like this. It feels a little early for a3 to me. What is it accomplishing? Attacking my bishop? Oh no. This is a trap that I think I just saw on YouTube yesterday. I think because here is fine. They can do this, and then you do this here. But there were some circumstances involving this. No. It was something else. If they didn't have this knight here and they'd made more work with their pawns, they could actually chase away this bishop. But I don't think I need to back up here. I can just take with check. Presumably queen takes. And then run here to this much nicer square, pinning the knight, by the way. Suppose queen takes? Am I in any danger? No. And now I've established a bishop on a square that's really, really enjoyable. The only piece that could attack it would be this pawn, but this... Wait, now these two are both pinned? Why did you want to do this? Are you planning to do something with this guy with tempo, maybe? Here... Here... Here? I have that covered. I'm not convinced by this. What if I just develop the bishop with an attack? That seems good. The queen has to retreat, or at least step over to the side. And I think we just castle? The bishop is sensitive. If the knight can ever be deflected, such as by this, we would lose the bishop. But I think if here, I just take this bishop. Yeah, let's just get castled. I'm not too scared of that queen just yet. Okay, seems like a mistake. Well, okay, I see. Now the knight is defending the bishop. Okay, that's not so bad. Do I want to do this trade myself? I don't think so. I want to make them do it. How do I accomplish that? I could just stand still. Then takes. But my center position's not great. What if I tried this first? Does that work? Takes. Knight takes is impossible because it's pinned down to the bishop. So I think I would be okay. I think this works out all right. It does make my d-pawn vulnerable. Okay. Which pawn would I rather keep? This one, clearly. So, well, would I rather keep where it is? This one. Okay, now my bishop is under some pressure. We take here and take away black's castling rights. Seems cool. Where can this knight go? Only here, right? Can I do something with that? That gives him this square, actually, so that doesn't really work. I don't think I want him getting here. This is a really important square that black wants to get to. Yeah. And... wait, what? Here doesn't give him any squares. My pawns are still covering this. So here kicks him back. Or I could just do this. Take control of an open file. It's not unstoppable control, but it's kind of nice. What about some pawn break? Like this. That opens a file here. I hate that. Yeah, let's try to stop black. This attacks the knight and also stops black from opening this side up. And I think I'm okay here. And then follow up with the queen. It makes this knight a little unstable. But this pawn also is in danger. And it's not like there is an attacker of the knight currently. So check, pick up the knight, right? I saw this and I was not concerned about the king defending. It takes care of the pawn, but not in any reliable way. Like, I couldn't take the pawn anyway. Well, I guess I could have, yeah. No, I couldn't. I think this was an even bigger blunder than it seems. Black resigned. That's all it takes, losing a knight. Okay, fair enough. Well, how did this game go? Let's look at the analysis board. Jumping in there. I don't know. I'm still not sure about the strength of this opening. We'll see what the book has to say. Or I don't know. You can't get Lichess to tell you about like opening books, can you? I mean, you can, but not as part of the analysis. I don't like chess.com, even though they have some features Lichess doesn't. I just don't appreciate their like, you know. I'd rather volunteer to pay and not have them charge me for like features. So anyway, but they do have a nice, I think, a nicer post-game analysis than Lichess. but you actually have to pay for it. Anyway, so it would tell you like, oh, this is the so and so opening, and it's totally normal, but not good for white. It's a weird gambit or whatever that you can catch black unprotected, unprepared with. So I think this is probably good. I want to be in here, and this guarantees one of my pieces gets in. And they tried to shoo me away, but I think this tactic was right, and it gets my bishop in here. This was an interesting idea with this to unpin the knight. I didn't really see that coming. Was it amazing? No, but it was fine. Kicking away the queen is probably okay for the same reasons I thought it was okay in the game, but it is a little dangerous. It makes my bishop unstable and also pins it to this square, so if they do something like this, I'm actually in quite a bit of trouble. Because my bishop has to move, and then when it does, this pawn falls. So I guess that's why castling here would be good. Oh, look at me, what a guy. I didn't see that in the game, but I think castling is actually important tactically because of a move like this. If I don't castle now, I have to find some other way to not lose this pawn. This is a very, very important pawn. So I think castling is good here. Running the bishop away might be okay. Something like, no, because I lose this. I guess you could try that, but it still gets kicked away. So maybe you could prepare by making this pawn uncapturable. You could do this. Then when you get kicked, you run to here. It could be okay. It makes the knight vulnerable now. I think it's probably not as good as castling, but it seems like it could be playable. They developed this attack. And now this. What was this all about? I know it was only 10 minutes ago, less. 5. But I'm like, what was this? I was trying to add support to the bishop. For some reason. Because I didn't want to have this pawn move, that's right. And it would be a mistake for black to take. Because then when takes here, I can retake this way, and my structure is improved. And it may look like black can win the pawn, because it's attacked twice and defended once. But remember, the knight is tied down. So in order to do any of that, you have to exchange here. And when you do, I evacuate the pawn. So I think this move is okay, although probably not some great shining star of brilliance. Bishop there. I don't remember. Did I trade here? I don't think I did. Oop, I did. Oh, right, because it gets the king out into the open. Okay, sure. And now b4? Yeah. It's an interesting idea. I don't know if it's good or bad. Getting this open file, sure. This is not actually threatening to attack this pawn in any, as I said, meaningful... Well, it almost is. It's probably... suppose black does nothing. This, right? Now we have takes, and in the end, the king is in a pretty sticky situation, and B, we win the knight. So we lose the queen, but we win a knight, a bishop, a knight, a pawn, and a rook, which is like, okay. You know, those both add up to 9 points, which is only a first-order approximation. In the end, we also get some positional advantages because the king is pretty naked. We have this threat coming, so maybe he shouldn't have moved there. But, like, where else does he move? Here? Yikes. Right? Big yikes. This is a different kind of positional problem for black. You don't want the king to be... I mean, he might actually be okay here. It's just like, normally you don't want to be so far forward with 2 rooks, but right now your back rank looks even more dangerous. So maybe that would be better. You have good shelter of pawns sort of cloistering you here. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, we end up like even on material, and we get this great rook and a bad king. So I think it would be a totally fine trade for me if they didn't try to defend it with the king. The problem is that defending it with the king doesn't work. We just win the knight. And still threaten great things someday. Like, for example, even just this is pretty upsetting for black. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it probably is. And they have to perpetually be careful of the back rank. This rook can't ever go anywhere. I don't know. It seems very good for me. Of course, I just won a knight, but like I think it's better than that. Yeah, it's like +9. Out of curiosity, how good are things right now? They're plus like 4. And we were saying, suppose that black does nothing over here. Let's say this. I was imagining this trade. It says that's actually horrible. Why? It was a trade that was even on material, and I thought it got me... First of all, here... If here, it's actually like still fine, but not nearly as good. It got me a good rook, but I guess they get an even better rook who can control this very important file, and their queen is right on top of my king. Okay. That would not be a good trade to go in for. That's why it's suggesting to just evacuate here, because this... The main threat I have is queen here. Getting into the back rank, tearing apart the pawns. And the answer is A, get the knight out of that threat, and B, defend this square. Interesting. All right, let's get the computer analysis going and see what Stockfish thinks of my designs. Wow, it was a... Oh no, I see. This is where the opening book cut off, I guess. Like, it wasn't actually a dead draw. It was just they knew how good things were up to here, and then they had analyzed from here up, but the middle hadn't. Anyway. So there are 2 obvious mistakes you can spot in the evaluation. I can see which ones were my blunders. They were knight d5. Anyway, let's have a look. I liked this. What's wrong with this? Is it that I should have pinned this first, maybe? Then I can actually get the knight to stick instead of having to trade the knight for a bishop. And you would rather have a knight here. A bishop's fine, but it's a little bit more vulnerable. So is this the idea? No. There's some bigger play. I don't think it's this. Well, could be. Right? They can trade everything off, but they don't come out ahead on the trade. Other moves you could see would be like this, which picks up a pawn with check, but of course king takes. And what's the follow-up? Knight here? It's check. King has to move again. He probably doesn't want to go to a white square. Well, no, my queen can't actually get to either of these. My knight has moved, but this knight is still here. So, Oh, you know what I bet I should do is just like knight here. That makes the threat on this pawn very serious. I've been the victim of such an attack many times in my own games. As soon as I put the knight here, it obstructs my queen's view of this square. And then some evil knight-bishop coordination on f6 happens to me. So I imagine that's it. Yeah. I gotta remember how much of a weak point this is and how useful it is to have two minor pieces coordinating there. Because, you know, if the knight gets here, it's stupendous. You fork the major pieces. If the bishop gets here, it's fine. It takes a pawn with check, makes the king move. Um, and then you can retreat and still have the threat of knight getting here. So it wants to play this, and now we plant a knight. And then they finally get to kick this away. Yeah, sure. But in the meantime, I've won a pawn. It says this even wouldn't be so bad. Because the only defender is the king. And then you have a discovery with moving this knight, revealing the bishop attacking the king. Interesting. It says backing up is a little safer, but I'd like to see how this plays out. Right, you kind of have to take. And now we have, yeah, as I said, this. Oh, no, running there? And you get the rook. Huh. And, yeah, they have a decent knight, bishop knifing into my position here, but it's not, like, deadly. Okay. And then it doesn't like this. Am I supposed to take the bishop first? And, like, is there some tactical reason this doesn't work? Or am I missing a better tactic? It really dislikes knight a5 for my opponent. So I was supposed to do something to punish this. Oh, of course. Well, this move occurred to me because it's deflecting the defender of this bishop, right? But they can just trade it in and then run with the knight to here, I guess. I think this must be it, though. No? Taking it isn't as bad, but there's something better going on. What can it be? Could attack the knight with your queen, I guess. And also defend this bishop. That's sort of a useful multi-purpose move. Okay. So what I want to know is... I did this. The counterplay is pawn here. Okay. You're supposed to trade in your bishop now, and then grab the knight. Don't even grab the knight. Why? Can't decide. It thinks taking the knight would be okay, but so would not taking it. I don't quite understand this one. Like, the knight... I see. The knight doesn't have anywhere to go. Right. Since we didn't end up taking this bishop, the knight is still stuck. And I don't have to take it right now. I can wait. And apparently this pawn move accomplishes something. Okay. So the point is that this threatens to break up the attack. But also this is just not a good trade. It's a not very good bishop for this bishop that's like in this nice pocket here, kind of protected by my pawn, not so easily threatened by theirs. and we accomplish a move with dual uses. Defending my own sensitive piece and attacking one of theirs. It frees my knight up to start attacking the queen. And she has to... She has only one safe square, which is here. I'm not sure what this is about. Where's the queen safe to go if I... Right now, I guess the point is, maybe, that right now, the only squares my knight is controlling don't matter to this queen. She can't reach them. Or they're unsafe. No, this is a square that he's controlling. So why is this good? I guess it covers this so I can retreat with my bishop? I don't know. It seems like I just have these pieces over on the king side, and black is having to compromise king safety to kick them away with pawns over and over, maybe is what's going on here. These moves don't make any serious threats themselves, but if you let me get enough of them, I take the queen. Somehow, I assume. And so they have to do stuff like this. Interesting. Okay. All in all, not a bad performance. 2 blunders. Yeah, 2 times when I was well ahead and brought the game back to just about even. But my opponent never really capitalized on them. And for a change, I didn't blunder the opening. I'm always doing something horrible in the opening. Let's review that. So what is it like after this? It does not like that. It says that's bad. Okay. Just develop a knight, huh? Or like, why this? What comes after that? Just play the best move, please. How do I mean, shouldn't you be... Isn't there some, like, explore this line button? I can obviously, yes, I see I can do that. But it's, like, hard to tell which of the arrows is biggest, and I just want the computer to play the best move for me. Really? Why is this best? Okay. I guess it attacks this. That's a spot that I've weakened. Okay. And it says now another little pawn move. No, it hates that. I don't understand. This is for sure the biggest arrow. But it says it drops half a pawn. I just don't understand this opening analyzer. I wonder if something has to do with how deeply it studied the position. Because this position has been studied... Oops. Oh, spacebar plays the best move? Oh, I accidentally hit spacebar, and now I see what's going on. Okay. Okay. I've been hitting forward, and like sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Or the right arrow key. Alright, I say forward, because time is going from left to right. Anyway. So, so the way that Lichess works is they have servers that can evaluate a position, and that's what happens when you do like server analysis. They have a server farm of CPUs somehow donated by contributors. I'm not clear if it's like a folding at home thing where they run the analysis on your computers. I think that's what it is. Rather than giving them computers, you just allow them to run analysis on your computer. And that's what happens when you request computer analysis. Several people's computers study the game for you, and they send back the result. But when you do analysis on an analysis board with Stockfish on, it analyzes up to depth 22 or 23 by default. and sends the results back to Lichess's database. So they have a database of what Stockfish has done in people's browsers, so it doesn't have to revisit positions it's seen before and learn everything from scratch. And so that's what this cloud means. It's reusing an evaluation that it already knows. Here, it's analyzed the starting position up to depth 52 and concluded that white is plus 0.3. And then after this, it thinks, oh, white's only 0. So I think this maybe explains why I was getting confused some time ago about, like, why is it that, like, it thinks you have X position, and then you make the best move, and it's like, oh, your position got worse, or your position got better. I think it studied the next move at a different depth. Somehow. Like, for example, here, right, we're studying a bit less deeply this position. I don't really understand how that's possible, because doesn't the study of depth 52 here necessitate a study at depth, like, of 51 from here? Well, how is it 49? I don't really understand that still. But that's my hypothesis for how the numbers are changing, even though you play the best move. It actually likes... Yeah, c5. Okay, but that wasn't played. This is bad. But here we're at depth 46, and this, it says, depth 49. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Let's do a couple puzzles. Wrap things up. Okay, I'm black. There seems to be a lot going on over here. I'd kind of like to get my queen over, but this knight is in the way. I could take him 2 different ways. This one seems better, but there is something to be said for opening up this file. It seems sort of bad at the moment because it invites a rook trade. But, like, I would be okay with a rook trade. I think if here, they would not trade rooks. You could retake here. But then I get this sweet, like, pawn supporting this space twice by pawns. How vulnerable is this pawn? Not very, right? Because even if, like, I move the bishop away and they succeed in taking it, it just gives me permission to bring in the rooks. So I think this pawn is perfectly safe. One danger that I had in mind of, like, taking like this is that it weakens this pawn. But I don't think that's at all real. We could even do this. Oh my god. So we might even be asking, how do we get rid of this pawn? Takes here. Takes there is kind of funny. Isn't it? I don't know. Takes. Now I've opened this file, and I still have my bishop, and the knight is gone. So I could look at moves like this now with check. Oh, interesting. Where does the king go? So the bishop is guarding these spaces, and the queen is here. Well, it's not guarding this space because I put it here, I guess. I think I like this. No. This? No. Well, those are the only 2 good moves, so I disagree. Is it just this check? Am I missing mate in 1 right now? Well, 2. I think I am. Hmm. I guess it isn't mate because there's this pawn. Oh no, en passant. Okay, good puzzle. I failed it. I was looking. The backwards diagonal moves are not so easy to see as an attacking line, right? I saw that I wanted to play this, but I didn't realize this accomplishes much of the same thing. Okay. I mean, there are obviously some forceful moves like check or check. If we're going to sack something to open up the file, I would generally prefer it be a rook. But the problem is this queen is still defending, so I can't just like retake and accomplish something. Check takes somewhere else. Here is just inviting a queen trade, which I don't want. Hmm. There's obviously moves like bishop d2 with which have check, but don't seem to accomplish anything. It just gets a king out of the danger zone. You know, the knight is pinned. Is that useful somehow? I know I'm always missing pin positions, and this is one, and I did miss it. What can I do about that? It seems a little offbeat, but like, what if I moved my king over to try and attack? That would be mate in 1. Not such a great play. The fact that the knight is pinned has got to mean something. But I don't see it. I don't see any prospects here. All of white's important pieces are on light squares except the king, and I can't really get to him with my bishop. I can't pile up on the knight because he's on a light square. What about this? That's interesting. It piles up on the pinned piece, and it threatens a rook sack, letting me take both of these without having to lose my queen. And then I could maybe bring the queen in on this file. I don't know. I don't think that's right, but it's the only thing I can see. Yeah, what was the answer? Rook there. Ah. Well, wait. Why is that good? I thought I saw something, but I didn't. I mean, if queen takes, I have this. Check, attacking the queen. But I don't think white is so sad to have a queen trade, even if it comes with check in the end. So I don't think that is actually my follow-up. It must be something else. Oh, it wouldn't be a queen trade. It would be a queen for a rook. So this way I get a pawn and a knight for the rook. What? Oh, and then finally I have a discovery against the queen. Which will come with check for what that is worth. Probably a lot. And these rooks are scary. But I guess not scary enough to compensate for the material advantage. It's a pretty small material advantage. More importantly, it's some positional advantage somehow, I'm sure. Right, king probably wants to go to a light square so that I can't play bishop here. I see. I just play bishop here anyway. And now the rooks are cut off from this file. Maybe? Yeah, I can do this with check. Don't understand queen there. Anyways, good puzzle. Do one more? So, in this position, we can just pick up the rook. But there's got to be something better. The enemy king is so near my king. It seems like there must be a way to pressure him into checkmate. Suppose, for example, here. I mean, I don't. This is another possibility. It forces him to one of these squares. But I don't have a good follow-up if he goes, like, say, here. I don't have any follow-up checks. Well, I do. I could take this. So, but the reason I like this is it pushes him towards my king and towards a corner of the board. There's some idea with this of trying to get him trapped up against his own rook. But I think there's... Well, my pawn controls this. Maybe that works. But this is what seems most natural to me. So suppose here. King has two legal options. They're both on the back rank. Yeah, I was wondering. So we can pick up the rook, but I was wondering if there's a way to pick up the rook with check. And queen here does that. I don't know necessarily that it's the best play yet, but it seems like a good one. What if just this? King has to go to one of these three squares. Oh, letting him on the other side of this pawn feels very bad. I don't like that. Yeah, let's do this. I'm a little surprised this is such an overwhelming advantage. But I guess I have, like, some pawns. The enemy queen is sidelined. And I have tempo, and the white king is insanely endangered. The idea, I guess, is to just mop things up and work him over towards the edge of the board. It's suggesting this. I don't know why. I think it's just kind of screwing around for a little while. It just says the white king should keep going towards the edge of the board. I don't really understand why. Isn't that the thing it's scared of doing? Okay, I don't know. It was just screwing around for a bit, and now we finally get to take this pawn with check. And then we promote another one. I don't have enough tempo to like just checkmate with queen and king because there's another queen on the board who will, if ever I take a non-check move, which you have to do on occasion, she'll just come in. But now it's like, okay, go promote, make another queen. All right. That'll do for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.